Happy holidays, everyone, from all of us at Command Control Power. As you're hearing this, I believe it's going to be New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year. We're excited for a strong start to our 2025. For this year's holiday message, as it's become known, I don't know when this all started exactly, this tradition, but been all over the map. Some years I think it's a downer message, some years it's hyper-political. This year, what came to mind for me was our politicization of everything, our hyper-partisan era that we seem to be living in, at least in the United States. Broadly speaking, it's all about polarization, and how it really seems like there are two completely opposite sides and they can't see eye to eye. To me, that's the biggest issue. And I've been grappling with that. What can I do to help in some way, or just at least in my own little world, to try not to be such a hyper-partisan? Here's where I think this comes from. I have a certain bias or a certain leaning, I have a certain tendency or way that I lean politically, let's say. And I think that's perfectly healthy to be a certain way and to see the world a certain way. It's hard to not see everything coming in as you're either with me or you're against me. I either see this as something I'm aligned with or I'm against. And I think that's really the issue, is as both sides seem to be, or all sides seem to be, more and more entrenched in their beliefs and more intense in their beliefs, farther and farther to the most extreme edge of every side, it's hard not to react against that in the same way with the opposite charge, the opposite pole. And this is why things are so polarized, because we see the information coming in and we interpret it as so strongly against what we believe that the only solution is to fight fire with fire. And as intensely as that side is expressing their opinion, we have to express the exact opposite opinion with the same exact level or more intensity. And so this just keeps pushing both sides farther and farther away. So what I would encourage everyone to do, and what I'm trying to do, is see the folly of my own side. It's really easy to see how embarrassingly ridiculous the other side is. Like every single thing that comes across the news through the biased sources that I tend to follow that agree with me, it's very easy to see the other side screwing up and making ridiculous decisions, and the people that are involved are so ridiculous, and our side would never have people that are as ridiculous as that. If you look at the side that you believe in, that you're aligned with, you try to find the folly in your own side. It's not as hard to do as you might think. If you can humble yourself a little bit by noticing how ridiculous some of the things are on your own side, that's hopefully infectious, and hopefully the other side can do the same and say, I do believe X, Y, and Z, but yeah, I agree with you that this person in particular is a little ridiculous in how they express those things. And so if we both did that, I think we'd both come a little bit more to the center. And that's where we find opportunities to collaborate, opportunities to cooperate, and we're a lot stronger together than we are individually. I mean, we're in a society here, to quote Seinfeld, right? Like, we need to function in this society together and help each other and not look at each other as adversaries, like it's a zero-sum game and we have to get ours before it's taken away from us. We can collaborate a lot more, we can cooperate a lot more. And I think to do that, we have to see ourselves as honestly as possible. And that means trying to reject some of that bias that comes across the news media and look at the story underneath the story and look at some of the ridiculous things that our own side is doing, just like we can see on the other side.
Personally, in my own world, I've taken a more neutral stance. I feel that's the best way for me to move forward in 2025, in the next 4 years. Leading into the election, everybody was hyper aware. All their intensity, whatever sides we were on, was really ratcheted up. And I think that there was a general sentiment shared among people where they said, I'm just exhausted. Yeah. So that doesn't mean you can't be politically active and you cannot root for the home team. But at the same time, I think the majority of Americans are recognizing maybe we got too excited about things. And these things are very important. And I'm not diminishing the importance of the election or who was elected or who wasn't elected and saying, oh, well, we all need to calm down. I'm not saying that. Ultimately, we just need to find, as you mentioned, middle ground. If it's, like you say, finding folly on your own team and maybe looking that a little bit more introspectively instead of looking out and mocking the other guy on the other side of the street, maybe offer that olive branch. That's going to be the way I'm going to proceed. In my business, if we bring this around to business, we never get involved in politics. We never really have those types of discussions with our clients because it's not what we do. You've spoken very well. I'm going to take what you've said as I move forward and also take this neutral stance, be a little less pointed in my scrutiny and be a little bit more objective.
I think we could all really use that throughout this country and probably across the world. Happy holidays, everyone. It's a time for reflection and for gathering with family and friends and taking a step away from business. So I hope you can gain some perspective on, everything you've achieved in the year, in your business and in your life, and everything you hope to achieve in the new year. Let's all try to get along toward the success of everyone out there. Good luck.
We appreciate all you listeners that come faithfully every week and listen to our show. We're highly appreciative of your support
and your participation. We really appreciate it. Have a happy new year.